It's sponsored by Quincy Medical Group. Rebecca Dietert is in this morning from Quincy Medical Group. You have two stories to share that's going to come together as one. First, you're an oncology nurse at the Cancer Center there, so thank you for that.
Yes.
But you're also a breast cancer survivor.
Correct.
Recently, within the last year, you were going through treatment. So tell us about your experience.
Well, I went for my typical mammogram. I admit I was a couple months late for that mammogram. And I don't know, I had an ominous feeling about that. They called me a couple days after my mammogram, said you need to come back for a recheck. And I just had a feeling. The recheck led to an ultrasound led to a biopsy, and then I got the phone call. Said there's something suspicious there, and then I got the call that said it's cancer.
So suddenly you now became a patient in the very place where you work.
Yes.
What does that do? What does your experience do for you every single day when you go to meet patients?
Well, I think that experience, being on the side of it as a patient, helps me to be a little more empathetic with my patients. I share my story with my patients. I let them know if they have any questions, please ask me. I don't mind sharing my story with anybody. I feel like I have been put in that place for a reason. And I share my story with anybody, and I share it with all my patients. Most of my patients know that I've been a patient myself, and I feel like they can relate to me a little more because of that.
Absolutely. So now you have started a support group that's going to help these patients as well.
So I have felt like, so you don't really think about your breasts until they tell you that they want to cut on them or take them away from you. There's a lot of emotion that goes along with that. And so I've had this feeling that, you know, it'd be nice to have a group of women who are in the same shoes that you can connect with, you can talk to, cry with, laugh with. And so Sarah Nolan Winkler, she's our breast cancer navigator at Quincy Medical Group, I kind of shared this with her, and she's like, well, why don't we do something? So we are creating a group. We don't really want to call it a support group because it's kind of we want it to be a more casual place for women to just come and gather. But this Saturday is actually going to be our first meeting. We're calling the group Bosom Buddies. We thought it was kind of a fun name, and it's a sisterhood beyond a diagnosis is kind of what our slogan is. It is going to be the second Saturday of every month from 9 to 11 a.m.
Where's it going to be?
And it's going to be at Premier Diva. Geraldine Morrison, she has been gracious enough to let us use her space. She has a loft area above her store, and that's where it'll be every month for right now, unless it just gets so big that we need to find someplace else to hold it.
Well, good. On one hand, I hope it gets big enough so you have the support group, but on the other hand, I hope it doesn't get that big because there's not that need. But I know